Welcome to Just a Thought, a podcast for misfits who've turned self-reflection into a lifestyle. Around here, we get into the messy stuff, mental health, connection, and the daily chaos of being a human. It's kind of like therapy, but with some sarcasm and fewer co-pays. I'm your host, Purple Energy, and every week we'll obsess over one subject we know best, ourselves. Because if you're going to spiral, why not make it about yourself? This is Just a Thought. Today's episode is about trauma bonding versus true connection within friendship. Honestly, this one might hit home. I might cry on here. I don't know, Disha. I never know how I feel on my emotions when I start writing these articles and I'm coming up with new topics and different things. But know and believe that I don't ever write an article that doesn't hit home to me first from a personal experience. I don't really do articles based on trends because it doesn't feel natural for me.
Yeah.
So I always try to do things that are happening in my real life, whether I experienced it in the past, present, and how am I actually moving through those things that I'm being faced with, because I'm constantly being faced with different challenges. One of the challenges that I've been faced with over the last couple of years, getting out of the trauma phase of PTSD and depression, is friendship. And what that looked like and felt like during those moments when I was dealing with PTSD, and how does it look now that I came out of PTSD? When I first experienced depression, when I tell you, it was like nobody was listening to me. Nobody was listening to me. I am a big communicator. And so when people be like, oh my God, I didn't know you was dealing with depression. I may not had told you that I was dealing with depression because I wasn't going to get that personal.
Yeah.
What I would say is I'm going through something in this moment and I don't have the time to handle whatever it is that you want me to handle. Or I'm really feeling pressure right now and it's starting to rise up on me. So I was communicating to people constantly about me feeling depressed or not liking how I was feeling in my body. I remember dating this guy and I said to him, I actually said, I'm dealing with depression right now. And he was like, no, it's not depression. You're just spoiled and you want your way.
Jesus. Well, sorry to interject here, but I feel like, especially with the Black community, that is the whole. Anytime it's like, Mama, I'm depressed, or Auntie, I feel like this. That drink water. You like that because your mama spoiled the hell out you. That's why you like that. That is the knee jerk reaction in the Black community. You're not depressed. You just dehydrated, spoiled. We're slowly getting away from, but we need to hurry up the getting away from. We need to stop creeping back slowly and start running, because our children they're killing themselves because they told their family members, I feel like this. Either they know or they're pretty sure they have anxiety, they know they have depression, and the family member's like, that's white people. White people do that. Only white people get that. Sorry, continue.
Yeah. So I just remember feeling I was alone in my depression and my friends didn't understand it. For the ones that I did say, like, hey, I'm going through something, they just didn't understand it. They would tell me, are you praying? Did you do a self-help book? Like all these different things that wasn't helpful in the moment, right? But they still kept coming to me with their problems. I'm
No.
telling you that I'm going through something, and yet you are bringing me your relationship issues, you're bringing me your job issues, you're bringing me your parental issues, you are bringing me your issues that you are handling on a day to day. And I was going to say that the onus probably was on me because I allow my niceness to be in the forefront. As I said before, I am empath and I cannot stand being an empath. It's supposed to be this wonderful thing, but I really freaking hate it because I can feel your energy. I can feel when you're in pain. And the first thing I want to do is help that person alleviate their pain because I know what pain feels like in my body.
Yeah.
And I don't like for people to feel alone.
Well, the problem with that and with being overly compassionate as a whole is people sense it and then they, for lack of a better term, use you for it. They know, oh, I can always go to her because no matter what's going on with her, she's going to listen to me. And that is awful because people just use you up and then you were suffering and they were doing not even the less than the minimum. Be like, well, did you pray? Did you drink water? Did you do this? Anyway, so my boyfriend, and that's not good. That's not okay.
Yes. So, on social media, we're always hearing about friendship. I need girlfriends. And I always say that women are their own worst critic.
It's really sometimes insufferable to watch them talk to other women because it's like they want to be courted all the time. I am your friend. I am in a platonic relationship with you. I don't need to court you. I don't need to text you today and ask how your day was. I don't need to let 7 days go by before I decide if I'm going to text you or not. I don't need to overthink what I'm going to wear when I'm with you. All the dumb stuff that you do when you're courting a person does not work in a platonic relationship with a female friend.
Absolutely.
And we have culturally have been programmed to be vulnerable with our tribe. Our tribe is where we can come and say how we're feeling, and they're going to be a village and they're going to support us and they're going to be there for us. And all the while, these friendships are dismantling because one person is doing all the taking and one person is doing all the giving. And you're trauma bonding based on your traumas.
Yeah.
And that's not really a friendship, that's trauma bonding,
Yes.
right? I can say that I was these women's friends because I didn't trauma bond with them. A lot of them didn't know what I was going through because I chose to keep it to myself and to seek a counselor. That was my personal life was not going to enter into the friendship because I had a counselor. I didn't need to bring that there. And even if I didn't have a counselor, I still wouldn't have brought that there because it's none of their damn business how I see it.
Well, I feel the whole thing about friendships, at least the good ones that I've experienced, is someone you can talk to. My friends that I've had would ask, they'd be like, I'm going through this. Do you have the headspace to listen to me and talk through it with me? They always ask. They're never like, well, I'm going to dump all this on you. It's just like, how are you doing today? How's your mental health? Can I discuss something that's wrong with my mental health? That's the thing about being a friend. You can talk about stuff after your friends lay out their problems. It's like, do you want to vent or do you want a solution? Because I feel like a lot of friendships, you tell them something and then they're like, well, you do A, B, C, and D, or you should have done A, B, C, and D. You don't want a solution. You want to sit in these feelings. You want someone to share these feelings with you. Maybe you'll come to an understanding over it, but like you don't want a solution all the time. Sometimes, like, I don't know, whoever you're with broke up with you or you caught them cheating and you want to tell someone and you don't want them to tell you what you should do. You just want to be angry, which is fine.
Right. I know for a fact that a lot of people that I was friends with at the time, that's how they felt. They would be like, "You are a safe space for me.
Yeah,
You are a blanket where I can come and there's no judgment, and I'm safe with you to say whatever I'm feeling, and you'll just sit there and listen. You won't have an opinion. You will ask before you give an opinion." And that's what made me feel that I can come and talk to you all the time.
so you were a therapist, not a friend.
And that's what I said to them. I'm like, "So that felt like a therapist, not a friend, because
That's what it is.
that is not friendship. If we're not going out to the mall, we're not hanging out, we're only on the phone talking whenever you have a problem, that is a counselor. You
Mm.
cannot sit there and label that as a friend. Friends do things with each other. They go on events and they experience the life of the ebbs and flow of what life is going to bring. They're not just there for the bad times. And then when the good times come, it's like, girl, bye. I ain't got time to talk to you today.
Exactly. Like when I was in college, did I did act as a counselor for my friends, but it's like we did stuff. One of my friends who I was the biggest counselor for, we went to Ireland together. We did stuff. So it is okay to be your friend's counselor, but you have to understand when that's all you are. You're not a friend, you're a counselor. I wouldn't count these people as friends though. I did have people who come to me and they're like, I need someone to talk to. Can I talk to you? And I'm like, yes, but that's not friendship.
Right. That's an associate.
That's holding counsel for
Right.
you. I should have charged.
Listen, girl, I be listen, honey, okay? The funny thing is that's where I'm at right now. Now that I got into this whole place of myself, I'm out of the healing process. I'm in the
Mhm.
whole space of myself. The minute people come to me and they want to tell, I'm like, no, this is not my season to counsel. I have no space for it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it.
Yes.
You need to go to a therapist because it's not friendship. Honestly, one of the girls that I was working with, I gave her advice one day.
Mhm.
And you know, when you work with people, people are constantly telling you your business. I just don't get it. I just want to come in and get my paycheck and go home, people, okay? But she was going through a relationship issue and I gave her advice. And from that one day I gave her advice, she latched on to me
Yeah. It's a
like,
slippery slope.
oh my God. I was like, girl. Either way, I give her advice and she latches on to me. How did I get here with this woman? How did I get here? And so I just remember just telling myself, because I always give myself affirmation cards when I'm learning something new to implement into my life. So I create these affirmation cards, like, when I had certain people I would answer the phone for, I would read the cards over so I could be strong
Yeah.
and stick to it, and then I'll be like, because 'cause I'm at 'em in about 15 minutes, that's all they're gonna have, and so I will read these cards, and they remind me of, this person is only allotted 15 minutes.
Yes.
And so one day she called me and she just started talking, going off, telling me what was going on. And I was like, wait a minute. You didn't say good morning. You didn't ask me how my day was. You didn't ask me what I had going on if I was busy at the moment. You just started
Exactly.
pouring your information onto me. It is super early. I don't handle people problems early in the morning time. My mornings is for me. And if you need me, you can call me after 12. And so she's like, well, I really need to talk right now. And I said, it's an emergency. That's for you, not for me.
Yeah.
So you can call me back at 12 or later. Not a problem. And then I hung up the phone. So either way, she proceeded to call me back and she starts going on and on and on. And I said, we had this conversation before. At least 5 times I've gave you instruction on what to do and you haven't made a decision yet. So clearly you want this person to make the decision for you,
Yeah.
this partner or whatever's going on. So I don't need to hear this conversation. This is a conversation you need to be having with him, not with me.
Yeah.
Um, talk to you later. Bye. Right? So either way, I got to this point in my life and I realized, I'm like, wait a minute, this person's not a friend. I didn't ask for this person to enter my life. And now this person has crept their way into my life without my permission. So I literally just blocked the person. And
Yeah.
I understand that I have to work with this person. Sure, I will see you at work. But after that, no more because I didn't ask you to bombard yourself in my life. So
Exactly.
I'm telling an acquaintance of mine this conversation, and she's cracking up laughing like, did you just say that she didn't ask to be a part of your life? I'm like, yes. She didn't ask to be a part of my life. She just intervened into my life like as if I had gave her an invitation.
I feel like some people don't understand that it is your life and you can be like, I don't want to be bothered with you. And at any time I can like just be like, yeah, no, you gotta go. We're not doing this anymore. Like I had a friend who she wasn't similar. She was similar in the way that she just wouldn't listen to any of the advice I gave her and it would lead her into bad situations. And I felt really bad, but it came to the point where I was like, I can't be involved in you with you because you don't listen and you're hurting yourself. As your friend, that hurts me. And I don't want to be hurt and I don't want to be in pain. Now my other friend stayed in touch with her up until a point, but she's like, well, I'm still talking to her. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, how is she? She's like, I don't think I should tell you because it's going to make you upset and it's going to make you mad. Okay, then don't. That's why I did come to a point where I have to realize when with friendships, I have to detach. But if we're friends, I'm never going to be like, cut off, goodbye. I'm going to be, and I told her, I cannot talk to you because it's not even just you don't listen to me. It's you're participating in destructive behaviors that are hurting you and it hurts me.
The funny thing was, that's what I was telling her. Cause I was going through a lot at the time and I was like, you are in this relationship with this person, right? Now you involve me, so now I'm emotionally invested. I
Yes.
cannot afford to be emotionally invested right now. I have a lot going on in my life and I'm an empath, so I will internalize your emotions as my own. I need you not to do this. I am very communicative when it comes to things like that because I understand that people do feel a level of abandonment.
Yeah.
They've experienced that before,
Hmm.
and I understand how they see me in their lives.
Yes.
Right? And I'm grateful that they come to me and feel they can trust me. But at the same time, I didn't ask for it.
That can always be a double-edged sword. I have, had friends where they've had serious traumas happen to them, horrible home lives, and I have to take care of you because it's
Right.
just like, if I don't, who will? But
Right. Oh God. Yeah.
when it comes to the point that I'm trying to help you or, like, I care about you so much and you would just keep doing A, B, C, and D, and I can see how it's going to hurt you, and I can see how it hurt you, and I tell you, "Don't do that," and there's no change, I have to step back. That's one of the things I learned in college. I have to step back because I was like worrying. Well, are they okay? I have to like detach and be like, it's their life. Eventually, they're gonna have to figure it out because they're an adult. I can't hold their hand. They're gonna have to figure out their own life. They're gonna have to figure out what is good for them and what is not
Hmm.
good for them, and they're gonna have to see uh, understand these hard truths, which either is gonna happen or it's not. But either way, I'm not involved in it. We're not related. We're not dating. I'm not your mom. You're gonna have to figure it out.
Babes. I even have family members that come to me with their information. For real. It's just like, honestly, I feel like this is a gift that is also a curse. And I hate to say that, but I really do feel like that. And I'm not sure where I picked up along the lines of being this little mini counselor.
Yeah.
But ever since I was a kid, I could remember people coming to me with their problems, and I would just always be like, "Oh my God, that happened to you? I'm so sorry." Like,
That's all you need to do. Because sometimes it's just like you need to show that you feel bad, and they're like, "Oh, well, now I can tell you everything because you showing compassion to me makes me feel better. I can come to you when I feel bad because you're gonna make me feel better." I've been kind of lucky with the friends that I have counseled because they have told me that. Because we have like open conversations about like everything. One of my friends, she's like, I know like I dump a lot on you and I feel bad, and I especially feel bad because like I know I can talk to you because you're going to make me feel better, and I feel I'm using you for that. And I'm like, I can't say that's not true. But and I told her, so do you only come to me when you have a problem? And she's like, no. And I was like, so we hang out, right? She's like, yes. I love hanging out with you. Like I love spending time with you. You're really cool. And we're friends. Like, there's no problem. Of course I'm going to listen to you. Of course I'm going to offer counsel to you because you're my friend.
I'm gonna need you to repeat what you just said, that last part of when she came to you and she said she felt bad, and then you
Yeah.
started to ask her questions. Repeat those questions for the audience again.
So I asked her, do we hang out besides just me counseling you? Do we have a good time? Like, do you only seek me out when you have a problem? And she said, no. I'm like, then this is a friendship. This is not a one-sided thing.
Bingo. A lot of relationships that we think that we are in friendships with, it's really one-sided.
Yes.
And that is one of the best things that has ever happened to me going through my healing journey. When I tell you it was so vigorous, shadow work, everything was real. One of the biggest takeaways that I did for myself was putting everybody else on the back burner to come save me first
Yes.
because I had no choice.
Yes.
I was in a really dark, tough space. I was losing my mind, like mentally. I could not remember my own name.
Yeah.
It was so scary. Like I would be like, "Oh, I'm going to do so Y and Z," and then 5 minutes later, I would forget. It was gone. Like my memory
Yeah.
was losing
The
it.
memory loss from trauma is
It's
terrifying.
real. It's real.
It's really terrifying.
And when I kept telling everybody, I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm losing my mind. Like I can't remember my name." Nobody batted an eye and say,
That's
"Is that
weird.
yeah, no, yeah, like is that normal? Did you go see a doctor? What are you doing today? What caused you?" Nobody asked any questions, and it was like I was crying out loud and
Yes.
nobody saw me. I want to say this because people don't know that you and I do know each other, like, personally. And again, I didn't
We're
tell
friends.
right. And I didn't tell you, like, I'm not having this conversation with you to make you feel like this is an ambush, no, because I didn't tell you and you didn't know, and I wasn't putting that on you because that is not the friendship that you and I have with each other. You already know when we meet up, we be powwow, we be keep
Yeah.
like, we keep all that. But I'm talking about the people that would, like, suddenly that knew what was going on behind closed doors that was there. Nobody called to say, "Are you okay?" Nobody called and was like, you mentioned that you were having this like memory issue. How is that playing out for you today? Did,
Yeah.
did you remember? Did you set a schedule for yourself? No one gave me any suggestions. They kept on as if life was normal and continue to come to me with their problems. I would say to them, "This is not my season to counsel. Please don't tell me your business. This is not my season to counsel. Please don't tell me your business." So much so that I remember my cousin called me and she just, oh my, I love her. I do. But she's a lot. She is. She's a lot. And she was just rambling on about what was going on in her. And I said, "This is not my season to counsel people." And you know what this girl gonna say to me?
What?
"Well, how do you know God don't want you counseling people?"
Oh my gosh.
Like, do you
My God.
listen to Christian folks?
They
oh
are
Lord,
so annoying. Everything is Jesus and
Yep.
everything is God. And it's just like, no, some things are like,
baby.
when it comes to that, like that whole thing, I'd be like, well, how do you know? Like, it's just like stuff like that gets on my nerves because, like, and I've had this conversation with a Christian about how do you know God didn't want that, and I'd be like, well, how do you know he did? Because think about it this way: so you're saying God wants me to have poor mental health, He wants me to be
Thank you.
miserable,
Thank you.
and if that's so, that's not any God I follow. Like,
I do get the weight of my spirituality. I understand that, but my spirituality should not come before me.
exactly.
I was programmed under spirituality, and nothing. This is not to go be rhetoric against spirituality at all. This is just my personal experience. So I was going through a transition at the time, and no one understood the assignment for me. Higher self, my divine, did not tell me to go out there and counsel people. My divine said, don't counsel nobody. I'm going to need you to go ahead and seek me and seek yourself in this moment. Right? And so what I'm telling my cousin, I'm like, listen, you are going to be okay. You go to counseling.
Why are you bothering me?
You don't need me in this moment. I need me. I am legit losing my mind. I don't remember my name 95% of the day.
Yeah.
I don't know where my keys are if I don't put a reminder in the calendar that tells me my keys is here. I do not have time to listen to this. Talk to your counselor and leave me out of it. Had that extensive conversation. A week later, she called me at 7 o'clock in the morning, hysterically crying. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, maybe something happened. Somebody in the family died. And I don't know, because, at this point, I blocked everybody. I didn't have, hear me.
We're not doing this now.
You hear me? I had to come save me for real, okay? And so I'm like, oh my God, let me answer the phone. What's happening? And she's crying to me about her and her daughter got into an argument. And I listened for 15 minutes because, like I told you, I was on my 15 minutes. This is my first time practicing the 15 minutes was with her.
Yeah.
15 minutes went by. She still was going. I said, oh, no. So I'm like, here's the issue. Bing, bada, boom. And she goes, you don't listen. You could have you made this about you. You didn't listen to me.
And she called me.
Thank you.
You called me. I wasn't in it until you decided to pull me in.
Right. So I said to her, I told you that this was not my season to counsel. You proceeded to call me anyway and tell me what was going on. I have given you 15 minutes of my time. 1. 2, I don't really answer calls like this early in the morning at 7 o'clock. I thought it was a definite family, which is why you were calling me. I didn't know it was this. If I would have knew it was this, I wouldn't have answered the phone. So I said, I don't have time for bad behavior.
Yeah.
I just don't. I do not have time for it. And she proceeded to get so irate. And I was like, listen, thank you. Bye-bye.
Exactly.
Of course, she proceeded to text me and go on and at first I started to be like, okay, I need to respond to these text messages. And then I'm like, no, you don't need to respond to these text messages. You need to preserve your energy right now. I think I text her one text message and just explained to her about her behavior and how she disregarded how I was feeling. Because in this moment, she did. She disregarded me. She threw what she was going through in front of me. And I was losing my mind, like mentally losing my mind. I was dealing with a major form of grief. I was dealing with PTSD and I was dealing with depression. And those two things, all three of those things she knew. And she decided to disregard my needs for her. And when I tell you, it was like a light switch went off. I was like, if nobody cannot sympathize with what I'm going through right now in this very vulnerable state, then you are not my fucking friend.
Yes.
Period. You could never even say that we are friends if you're going to call me with your problems right now when I told you this is not my season to fucking counsel.
Yeah.
I proceeded to cut everybody off slowly, blocking everybody.
Yeah.
Slowly.
Start over.
Yep.
Start over fresh.
I never got into a relationship, whether it was consciously or unconsciously, bonding through trauma, because I don't lead with my trauma. People don't even know. 90% of people who meet me don't know because I'm very private about my life.
Yes.
All I knew is that I was depressed. I didn't understand it, and I needed to educate myself on what that was and how do I manage my life in those moments. That's all that I knew. And for people to lead with trauma to have friendships, that's very harmful because it's not a friendship. Because when one person heals and the other person don't, you no longer have a friendship because y'all have nothing that's keeping y'all, the commonality that could go together, which was this trauma. I understand that we live in an environment and culture where connection and vulnerability is important. But I'm starting to rethink that because I'm like, is that even healthy to enter into these relationships platonically with people? We're talking about friends, y'all. Is that healthy to lead with this emotional connection?
Well, I feel like any relationship needs some kind of emotional connection, but it is going to take you understanding if it's a healthy one or not. You can technically be bonded over trauma, but you have to make each other better for it. Not, well, I'm going to listen to you, be upset, and then you're going to listen to me, be upset, and we go back and forth with that. It's, this happened. What are we going to do about it? Because, if you are breaking down going to the grocery store, we got to fix that. Because you're not functioning in society doing that. And if I have random panic attacks throughout the day, you as my friend should also be like, well, how are we going to fix that? Because you cannot function that way.
Right.
I have had friends who would have really bad panic attacks and she wouldn't want to go to work, I would tell her, I'd be like, how many days do you have to take off? Can you afford to take this day off?
Right.
No, you got to get up. You
Right.
can't do this. You're going to lose this job. I'm going to get you up. We're going to put on these pants. You're going to take that train and you're going to like push all this down until you get back. And then we're
Right.
going to deal with it. And some days, I'm not going to lie, some days it would work, some days it wouldn't. And some days like she just couldn't get out of bed, which like, it's fair. But it's like, if it's both of y'all, that's a problem. That is not a friendship. That is a codependence. And no, it's not healthy. Like, now this is also like a hard thing to say because like you shouldn't have someone who depends on you for their emotional support. It is okay to be like, I'm gonna lean part of my weight on you because I need this either now or like continuously, but not like I'm gonna put everything on you at once. My friend who had these panic attacks, she went to counseling. She went to outpatient treatment because she would be like, thank you so much for doing all this for me, but I know it's not sustainable and I know I cannot keep doing this. So understanding that, something is wrong and you looking to fix it outside of your friend is what makes a friendship. You can lean on your friend. You can be like, I had a bad day. I really need attention right now. And they can give you that attention, but it can't be like, I'm always having a bad day. I need your attention constantly. If you don't pick up the phone when I call, then I'm devastated for the rest of the day.
Right. Well, a friend of ours that we know mutual, I remember her and I were going through a tough time at the same time. And I was saying to her, okay, I don't mind having these conversations with you, but we have to end on a positive. We got to find one thing that's positive about the situation. I remember her just saying, but I don't want to. I don't want to find a silver lining in this situation. I want to be pissed off and I want to be angry and I want that to exist. You are too optimistic and I don't like that.
Well, it is fair to be angry. It's fair to sit in your anger, but you cannot live in your anger. When your friends come by and be like, hey, we got to do something, we got to pull you out of it, you have to be open to it. You have to be like, okay, it's been 2 days, 3 days, maybe a week. I got to take a shower. I got to put on my clothes. I need to let go of this anger. If it's just like a couple of days and you're like, I just want to be angry for a few days, it's fine. But when it's like constantly that, you have to let your friends help you if they want to help you with it. Because like that anger tinges everything you do.
Right.
Like, and it's not just like, oh, you might snap at someone or like, this and another thing. You're not going to enjoy the things that you used to enjoy because you're so angry all of the time. And that's why you have to like introspection is a lot of people don't do that. And it's really weird. And it could just be because my mom was a psychology professor and would make me introspect. And that's why I have anxiety. But
Don't play it on Miss Renee now.
you have to take yourself out of a situation and then look at it and be like, okay, this is what's happening. Am I going to live in this feeling forever? And is it going to bog me down? Or am I going to let that happen? Or am I going to move on? And if I am going to let this bog me down, you need to let the people, you can't have them in hell with you. That's not nice. That's not friendship.
Right.
Like, you have to be like, look, this is just me now. I'm just upset and I'm just going to be upset. And I'll call you when I'm no longer upset, but I'm just going to be upset. And I'm not going to lie. I've done that. I've done that with people 3 years ago. I was in such a horrible place. And I did have my friends would check up on me because I had a lot of bad shit happen one right after the other. Some days I was like, I'm going to be upset today. And thank you for calling, but I need you to understand that that's just what today's going to be. I knew I was depressed and I knew that I was miserable. So I took a vacation. It's like, I need some perspective. I need to get the fuck out of here and to somewhere where like I don't have like any far enough away. Sounds bad, but far enough away from my problems that I don't have to think about them for a couple of days and I don't have to worry about them for a couple of days.
Is that when we took the New Orleans trip?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. I was happy for you.
And it was great. I had a great time. I didn't have to worry about anything. I kind of booked my tours too close together. I was hungover. But sometimes you do need that perspective. And it doesn't have to be like, oh, I'm going to an entire another state. It can be, I'm going for a drive, going for a walk. But you have to be more in tune with how you're feeling and how you want to feel.
Right. And I love that for you. I love that you took that vacation. I remember you coming back and us talking and me just asking you how you felt. and different things that you experienced while you were there, because I was concerned that you was taking a trip by yourself. But the fact that you took this trip by yourself was freaking awesome because that was amazing. Like, I feel like that's something that I would like to do on my bucket list. Like, the fact that you got on a plane by yourself, like, I would love to have that experience where I can be on a plane by myself and go into this place. I haven't gotten there yet, but I can go on dates by myself. But vacation, I haven't gotten there, so I would love to build up to that. But this friend that you and I both know, in that moment, I felt like I understood what she was saying, but that pessimistic attitude is her natural state of flow. I needed her to see that it wasn't just about her, it was about me too. And if I say let's end on a positive note, that was helping me out.
Yeah.
That's something that I needed.
Yeah.
And I needed you to step outside of yourself to be like, you know what? I don't like to do this, but I'll do it for you because I know you need to be met there. Because that's what friendship is about, right? We don't what works for you may not work for me and vice versa.
Yeah.
But if I know that this works for you and this is something that you like to do, then I'm going to present that in a way that helps you because that's your coping mechanism.
Well, I'm playing a little devil's advocate here.
Of course.
Because most of my friends are artistic, and I believe I am too. We need to be
We
told
talked about
stuff.
this.
We need to be told stuff. Like, we
Wait,
can't.
let's pause right there. We have discovered that you are artistic, and I love that for you. Don't deny that part, but go ahead.
But we need to be told things. And for certain, like, a few of my friends, I understand that. Like, I understand if I don't want you to do something, I have to tell you that. Like, and with me too, I'm like, if you want me to do something, you have to tell me and sometimes give me explicit instructions. For example, one of my friends didn't like my other friend bringing her dog to her house all the time. And she's like, I don't know why she brings her here because she's distracting and this, that. And then I was like, well, did you tell her that you don't want her here? And she's like, no. And I'm like, oh, well, that's therein lies the problem. I was like, use your words. You need to use your words.
Right.
I know I have a problem sometimes with social cues and what people want me to do, or like overanalyze things. Like, we were on a group date with one of my friends and this new guy she was dating, and apparently she wanted all of us to go to the bathroom and talk about what we thought about him. I didn't get that. So my two friends went to the bathroom. I'm just sitting here and I'm talking to him. And then he went home and they were like, well, we wanted to go to the bathroom and talk about it. I was like, I didn't get that. They're like, you didn't get we made eye contact. I was like, yeah, that's how I talk.
Right.
I look you in the eyes when I talk to you. Yeah, so sometimes you have to tell people things, and
Right.
communication is key. Now, if you've communicated and they still are like, either they don't get it or they're like, I don't want to do that, then it's just like, that's the point when you got to be like, okay, well, this is about to be over real fast.
Right.
Which I have been in situations like that as well, because I am very much a person, and I've become more of that person over time, where I'm nice, and I might be nice to you to the point where you think you're walking all over me. But if I didn't want to fuck with you, I wouldn't fuck with you. I might be letting you, quote unquote, walk all over me because I feel bad for you.
It's not the manipulation that they think that they're doing.
Exactly. I've been cut off by people and I don't know why, which my whole thing is like, I just want to know why. Like, I could have fucked up and just let me know. That doesn't mean we're going to reconcile. That just means like, okay, thanks for letting me know. Bye. And then I've had people fuck up with me and I've never talked to them again. And anytime you mention their name, I get a stank face. I was hanging out with my friend and she still talks to this person. And she's like, oh, well, you know that they had a baby. I'm like, I don't give a damn. Like, I know this about myself. I can be a very spiteful person. I won't be spiteful to your face, but I definitely sure as hell will be like, well, I don't give a shit what happened to her. And I hope you suffer the same suffering that you put me through.
Right.
That
When
is
we end it.
That is all I really wish. If you've made me angry or you've made me miserable, I'm coming to the point where I wish you the same suffering you put me through. Before I was like, I hope you die and go to hell and you're alone and you stub your pinky toe, bad, awful shit. But now I'm like, I just want what you put out to me to happen to you. That's it. That's all I want. Because you obviously deserve it.
But see, that's what I'm saying about friendship. It gets into this weird space, especially with people dealing with their traumas, their inner child, their abandonment, all these different things. It feels like community has been stripped from us because of these outside expectations of that you, like you mentioned before, that you must be all these things to this one person.
Yeah.
That can be much coming from a woman who has been the quote unquote strong friend. And I hate that freaking term. I
Yeah.
hate it with a passion because it's like, does that mean I don't bleed? Does that mean I don't cry? Does that mean I don't feel? I remember having to tell someone one day, I was counseling. And one thing when I'm counseling people, I don't give them my personal business because this is about you. This is not about me.
Yeah.
And one of the young ladies I was counseling, she was like, well, you don't tell me about yourself. So I don't know if I can really trust you because it feels like half the time you're judging me. And I said to her, you refer to yourself as a whore.
Sorry, that's not
And
funny. I'm so sorry.
you're a mess.
I wasn't ready. Oh, I didn't mean to laugh. I just was not ready for that.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
So I was like, when you use that terminology towards yourself, I always have you reframe it.
Exactly.
So how did you feel like I'm judging you and that I need to give you my personal story to make you feel comfortable?
Well, I'm going to have a little psychology moment.
Go ahead, girl.
A lot of times when that does happen, because like people who are in counseling will even feel that towards their counselor,
Right.
that like they're judging them. And it's literally them projecting.
Of course.
You feel bad about this, about yourself. So you think that this person automatically is going to think you're a bad person, which most of the time, if it's a counselor, you don't pay them to feel any type of way about you. So no, they don't care. And if it's your friend, I know I've had friends tell me like awful shit that has happened to them, like, stuff that they've gone through. And they're like, I thought, that would make you think of me less. And I'm like, you're my friend. I think the sun shines out your asshole. Like, if
Right.
they care for you, it's not going to matter.
Right.
Like, and I know there are those friendships, and I have heard tell of them. And when I ever see them in action, I was like, this can't be life, because what the fuck is this? But it's like, I'm friends with you because I want to know your tea, so like I can feel better about myself. This is how this is like a soap opera to me. So I like watching, and I'm just like, that's awful.
Those are people are jealous friends.
Yes.
Those are jealous people. I actually had somebody that was in my life like that, and actually a few people. But either way, when somebody wants to marvel at your misery
Yeah.
to make themselves feel better, that is a jealous person. Run, run, run. There is not enough spiritual being, whatever your deity is, to stay in that unhealthy dynamic of a friendship. Let it go.
Exactly.
But when she said that, I was kind of taken back that she said that to me, and I was like, oh, okay, well, that's not what this is.
Yeah.
Right. And I've created a safe space, and I can hear you to tell me when you feel like I judged you, and then we'll go through that. And every time she would tell me something, I would pinpoint how I did and how I referred things back to her. Like, that's
Yeah.
not how I see you. I don't see you that
You
way.
are doing a counselor's job.
This is what I'm saying, girl.
That is like,
hello. Okay. So
yeah.
this is what, and again, this is all me just learning psychology, which I have fallen in love with human behavior. It's really freaking awesome with trying to heal my own self and understand depression. So as I was going through that journey, I was helping friends go through the same thing. Like, these are the new techniques that I learned. This is what's going on. I've always left my door open for people to come and talk to me. Even at church, I allow the pastor to be like, hey, this person needs to be counseled. Do you mind talking to them?
Mhm.
So I was really into the whole counseling in the midst of me going through depression, like in the raw dog of it all, And so when she mentioned that to me, I had this moment where I had to really, because I remember telling my aunt, I was like, okay, auntie, because my aunt has always been like an overseer for me when it comes to like counseling people and stuff.
Mhm.
And she was just like, this could feel uncomfortable, but God wants you to still be there with this person. And I love my aunt because she brings everything back to Jesus, honey, okay? She do. She bring everything back to Jesus. I be like, okay, now, come on, that ain't Jesus. That's them people who's acting a fool. Okay? So she was like, just be patient with her, but do realize she has a jealous spirit. She's jealous of you
Yeah.
because you're in this bad space, but you're still moving, and she doesn't know how to move, and she could be jealous of that.
Well, it's sometimes not jealousy. It's literally just being unhealed. This is how I see myself, and I'm projecting how I see myself on how you see me. And like, I've had that happen to somebody I was talking to, and I had to be like, I can't control how you think I see you,
Correct.
but I'm gonna this is how I see you. I see you as this. And I can't control how you think I see you, but I don't see you that way.
Right.
And I was like, and if I did, I'm motherfucking tell you, like, I'm not. It's like the conversation that we were having before about common sense. why did you do that? And I left that alone because I thought you were going to make a good decision. I get in my auntie mode where I'm like, I thought you were going to make a good decision. Well, I'm going to keep quiet on that. I do that with my mama too. That's just how my mind works. You are of this age. You should know what is a smart and not smart thing to do.
Right.
And if you're doing whatever you're doing, I assume you know what you're doing. I have found out that that is not true a lot of the times. And so I will regret keeping quiet and not saying anything. But it's like, as you said, it's like, I'm not your counselor, I'm your friend. And if I said something and then something else happens, I know I would feel bad about it. I've never had friends who would make me feel bad about it, but that's just me personally.
Right.
But it's just like, I'm not your mom, so I can't tell you what to do.
I don't think you should feel regret about it because this person has, like you said, they have a choice in the matter. And their decision led them to this bad moment. And it's unfair because you foresaw it, right? It's like a
Yes.
prophecy in real time,
Yeah.
right? And this person decided to do it anyway. So when people do things like that, I'm like, baby, let me pray for you on the way out the door. You hear me? Because listen, you're going to act the fool anyway. Your mind is made up in this situation. So I'm going to let you be. But I have found that friendship is really it has become this hard thing for no reason. And community has been stripped from us. Like I grew up in a household where I saw healthy female dynamics. So this we must tear each other down
I think
till you have hair pulling and
Mm.
I don't get that concept.
my mom and my grandma were arguing all the time. But it's just like, it always ended with, I'll see you tomorrow, mom.
Right.
Or like, I love you. And it was never like, it was only one time when it was really bad, but like, it didn't stay that way. Cause like they would always talk to each other the next day. You never get used to the idea of, yeah, we argue and now I hate you and now
Right.
I prey on your downfall.
Right.
It's just like, we argue and obviously we're gonna make up.
Right. You move through it.
Exactly.
My grandmother and my aunt were best friends. I can say that. I never saw these two women argue with each other. I never saw them curse at each other. They didn't even curse at us.
Yeah.
I never saw these two disagree on anything. If they did, none of the kids in the house knew.
Yeah.
So I saw a real strong, healthy dynamic of what it looks like to be in cohabitation with another person, and it has this healthy bond to it.
Yeah.
So when women have a distrust for other women, I don't understand that concept because this one person hurt you. I get that. But why do you now have a mistrust for all the women out there?
Yeah.
Why can't you just heal from this one situation and move on and separate it? Why do you need to be in these relationships where you are in friendships with people and if they don't agree with everything that you're doing, if it's harmful or not, then we not friends anymore and you're canceled. That shit is just stupid.
Well, like, I feel like that's another reason why I don't speak up as much as I should. And I'm getting better about it. Like, I'm getting better about, like, saying tell my friends, you can, at the end of the day, it's your decision, but I don't think that's a good idea. Because I have been in friendships where, like, we've had huge falling outs because I did something you didn't like. Like the big one that I had in college, like we were all a group of friends. I was hanging out with another group of friends and then we were all in town and one of our friends is like, "Oh, I don't have so and so's number." And I was like, "Okay, I can give you the number because we're all friends." They like had a intervention with me saying that that wasn't okay and this, that, and the third. And then they used that time to air out everything else that annoyed them that I did.
Yeah.
And they called my other friend, who wasn't there, to agree with them. And she was like, "No, fuck you guys. I've never experienced this before." She's like, "Why are you ganging up on her? If you had a problem, you use your words. You don't do this shit." She literally grabbed my hand and we left. We're not dealing with them anymore. She's like, this was not it. And yeah, so it's really when you have to understand if you're the problem or it's everyone else. And for me, I was like, well, fuck, I guess I am this terrible person because it's like 4 people telling me I am. And then the one person being like, no, don't listen to them. I don't know what the fuck their problem is, but you're fine.
So you basically internalize it as somehow it was
Absolutely.
you were the problem in this situation. And I
And
think like a lot of people can relate to that situation where if they're in a group of women, this girl group, and one person is being gained up on, they can feel isolated and alone.
yes. So I probably should have seen this coming, but it did like split our friend group like down the middle.
Oh, of course. Any kind of time when you have a girl group and people are at odds with each other, it does become this 50-50. Like one side is over here and one side is over there. And there's never the immediate that can bridge the gap. I think it's always hard when you're in those situations. Like I remember in high school, I was in a girl group and The funny thing was these women wound up like grouping up against me.
Yeah.
And I'm the type of person where I can stand on my own. I don't give a damn.
No, I am baby. I cry.
like
I cry.
I'm not saying I don't get emotional, but what I'm trying to say is I can stand on my own where if you decide to walk out, okay, not a problem. I'll just make friends somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's just how I see it. And so either way, they call themselves gaining up on me to the point where it trickled over into school. They thought that by them gaining up with the girls that we were now, they were beefing with, that I was somehow going to like crawl my way back into this girl group. No, I was fine.
Yeah.
Because I knew that I would be. I stood on my own. I've always had that headstrong sense of I'm going to do as I want to do and I'm not going to follow the herd long time. And I love these girls. But if that's how they felt, then there was nothing I can do about that. I'm not here to change
yeah.
your mind. You have to want to do that on your own. And I feel like women are very hard on each other. There's no compassion. Like they'll be in a relationship with a guy, they'll break up with him, and that guy become their friend. But the moment that they have an outskirts with their female friend, they don't think to reconcile. I feel like we as women, we don't know how to just say, address this with me. You can. It's not hard. If you don't like something about me, you don't need to talk about me to the other friend group. You need to address it with me because
And you don't need to
I,
like get a posse together
right.
to tell me.
That's what I'm saying.
And like that was what like the whole thing that happened my first year of college. That's what messed me up a lot. It's all of you. And you didn't tell me what the problem was in the moment. You waited till it was all of you air out your grievances.
Right. You made this bigger than what it is by going back and, as you said, your words was getting the posse, right? Instead, you just coming to me as a woman and addressing the situation and then us resolving it the best way we knew how, if we could move on from the situation, right? And again, those are schoolyard situations.
Exactly. That's why I was so shook because I was like, we're in college. What's happening?
Right. Like grown women don't know how to communicate with one another and say, hey, you hurt my feelings. That hurt me when you slept with my spouse. That hurt me when you was talking about me. That hurt me that you took my misery and made it into a joke. Yeah. That wasn't nice. That hurt.
Well, it's not even just that. People are afraid of the consequences of airing their grievances because I have seen a lot of people who are like, I don't talk about the problems in my friendship because I'm afraid if I do, they won't be friends with me anymore. Okay.
Let's slow that back down. Say that again so the audience can hear that one. That's very important.
You do not need a friend that you are afraid of airing your grievances to. You do not need a friend like that. If like a little thing is like saying, oh, I don't like that you did that or like that hurt me, destroys the friendship, it's not a friendship. Your acquaintances. With my current group of friends, we've had like issues where we've yelled it out. And then the next day it's just like, well, we got it all out. We talked about it. We're okay. It's another story I'm not going to share on here.
Saying that I'm in my mind because I know how you were. I'm over here like, how did that work out? Was you Miss Renee in those arguments? Because you know how you get on that, girl. Marie gets upset. It's an experience. Like her and I have had a moment where we didn't see eye to eye. I was speaking one language and she was speaking another, and she got offended by me joking with her. And it turned into this thing. She didn't talk to me. Like she legit did talk to me. Now, meanwhile, she's in the process of editing my book and stuff like that. And I'm like, this heifer ain't Now
the thing is,
wait. I'm in here like I'm in my mind. I'm like, hold on. Now we got to fix this because this issue is not that big. It was just a joke. And so I come to her because I'm like, sometimes I know for me, what I'm saying in my mind and what I'm texting can come off different ways to people, right? Because people see me in this certain kind of way. And so when I'm texting it and I'm joking, it can come off I'm being serious and
I thought you were serious.
I'm not being considerate of other people's feelings and very mindful of my directness and when I text or even when I talk. So I had to make it right by speaking to her verbally. And so I went to her job and she was giving me all kind of attitude and sass, honey.
Listen.
Okay, that baby was sassing me, rolling her eyes. I was like, I don't know if I like this person.
Listen, if I'm mad at you and I don't talk to you, it's because I'm trying not to escalate the situation. Because when I get upset, my first instinct is to curse you out. And I don't want to do that, especially if we're friends. I'm like, I have to think on this and marinate on this. Because if I'm your friend, I want to be friends with you. If I don't know you, you can go fuck yourself. And like, you and your mama and your whole family. So it's like,
mama.
I have to sit and marinate on stuff. And like, but and I do feel like we do live in like a society that if you don't see a person every day or like every weekend or whatever, you get angry or the person
Yes.
gets angry and it's like, well, we're not friends anymore. I was like, I don't, I'm trying to think the last time I saw my best friend. It's been 1 to 2 months since I've seen her in person. She's not mad at me. She does not take it any type of way. She works all the time and I don't drive. So we have to foster this idea that you don't have to see everyone every day and you can still have a relationship with them.
I'm so glad that you said that because as much as people like to think that I am extrovert, I'm really not. I am an introvert for sure.
Same.
I love me some me time. That is important
Same.
for me. You hear me?
Yeah.
It's like
I love
life
being
and
by
water.
myself.
Right. And so I don't need to speak to people every day. I don't need to see you every day. I don't need to know the ETA of a text message that you had a bad day. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, I tend to get hives when I'm in friendships where you need to speak to me all the time. I get hives and I start to panic because I don't know if I can sustain this. Even in
Yeah.
relationships, I'm like that. I don't need to be around my partner every day. It's annoying. I'm like, when the fuck are you going home? I still got to see you?
Oh my
Like,
God.
yeah, like, no, like, sidebar. That's my only concern about marriage.
Yeah. No, like
Because I'm
that's
like, I
why.
have to see you every day. I'm not sure if I can handle that. But
So
back to the friendship thing, I'm definitely not the everyday friend. I'm more like we can talk once a week, every other week. And when we want to go out, like we're going on, as I call adult play dates, we going to a museum, we going shopping, things of that nature. And again, you're not doing those things every day. You're not even doing them once a week. You're probably doing them every other week.
yeah.
I'm okay with today's society where, like how you mentioned, about people being canceled because they didn't speak to them.
Yes.
I will be like, babe, you gonna always you're gonna be canceling me forever because I am not with the everyday. That's something for your spouse.
Yeah.
If that your spouse can handle that, but for me,
No.
oh the hell no.
Like my best friend even like, there was a while where she's like, I'm trying to get us all together because like I feel bad because we haven't talked. And I was like, you have to feel bad about me. I
Right.
will lay back down in a fucking second if you cancel plans. Like, as long as like I text you, be like, "Are you okay?" Yes, I'm alive. Cool. That's it. I would prefer to be by myself most of the time, and that's not saying anything about any of my friends. I like my alone time way better.
I will say my pet peeve in friendships is where you text somebody and they take 20 hours to get back to you. I am sorry. It is disrespectful and it's fucking rude.
I don't know how we're friends because that's what I be doing.
But you and I don't text, hear me.
Mhm.
That's a lie. You don't do that.
I don't.
No, you don't. When I text you, right? Normally, when I'm texting you is when you at work. So I already know that you're gonna get back to me at a
Yeah,
certain hour.
that's
And
fair.
it literally is around that. I can clock when you are gonna text me back because sometimes in my mind I need to get it out. Because if I say I'm gonna text you later, I will forget. I'm talking about people that you know that be on their phone all the time. They have their phone, they got an Apple Watch, they saw the message come in and they just blatantly just ignore your shit. That is my pet peeve. Because it's like, sit, if you don't want to be in this dynamic of proximity of close friendship, acquaintanceship, whatever this is, just tell me and I'll stop texting you. Because to text me back tomorrow or days later when you knew I text you, that's just rude. You get what I'm saying?
I feel like that's also something you have to be clear about because, like, with like, when I was younger, I would text back everyone right away and we'd have long conversations. And now I don't have the energy for it anymore. And I've told people, I was like, I, I don't like talking on the phone and I don't have the energy for long phone conversations. I don't have the energy for long text conversations. And so, like, sometimes if you text me and I don't text you right back, I'm getting up the energy. Or I'm asleep. I'm getting up the energy to have a full-on conversation.
Like I said, for you it's different because you are, but
He's up there now.
that was quick.
Yeah.
Um, I get what you're saying. Like I get what you're ultimately what you're going with this. Like just be open and transparent about it. And I like that about you because you really are open and transparent. You never leave people wondering, guessing. And I think that's what friendship is. It's about having transparency and communicating about your expectations of going out with this person, etc. Because it does change as you age. And I don't mean aging like you're being old,
Yeah.
but meaning you don't have more responsibilities and less time to do the things that you desire to do.
Exactly.
But it's also just communicating so your friend doesn't feel left out, so they don't feel like they were being used because you had an issue. Because it's mighty funny how people say, oh, I'm busy, I don't have time. But let them have an issue, honey. They're going to call you immediately. They got all the time in the world.
There's the whole joke on Facebook where it's like your friend is crying and you don't know how to react and you're kind of just standing there like this. But it's like that's an actual like issue with some people where they don't know how to handle other people's emotions and they don't know what to do about it. So like sometimes a person like a friend will come to you with all their problems. Now, not just that, but they're hanging out with you. You're actually friends, but they'll come to you with their problems. But when you try to do the same, they kind of freeze up or shut down. But that has to be a conversation. That can't be a whole like, oh, now it's happening. We don't know what to do. It has to be like, and I think that also takes a type of introspection where the other person has to be like, I'm not good with emotions. I'm not good with handling issues.
Right.
Like, and I have to understand that about myself. And then I have to tell you, my friend, this.
Right.
And that can also be another point of contention where you're like, if I tell them, they won't want to be friends with me anymore. And it's like, that is fair. But it's like you have to understand that about yourself because you were hurt by this. And if the other person understood this about themselves and were able to communicate that, you wouldn't have come to them about your issues because you're like, well, they're not going to get it because they're not good with that. Like, there are people who are like not, like I said, not good with like understanding other people's issues, not good with handling emotions. Some of them internalize too much. So it's like,
Right.
I wish you hadn't told me that because now I'm like emotionally devastated. I've had friends like that. But you have to understand it about yourself and you have to communicate so you don't hurt the person, your friend. So you don't hurt the person you care about.
Right. And meanwhile, I'm not the type of person that's like, I did this for you, I did that for you. I'm
Yeah,
just like,
transactional
right.
friendships.
I've been your friend and I've been holding you down the most craziest times of when you were going through something. And now that I'm going through something that is like legit real, like it's real time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have no space being held for me. That, when I tell you, out of all the people I cut off, that one was the hardest for me.
Yeah.
It was so hard because I felt like this was my sister and I can come to her and talk to her about anything. And we can have diverse conversations about any freaking thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to have people that you can like talk to about anything, like from politics to day to day to books. And the fact that I was able to be able to have that kind of camaraderie and it now was taken away from me, that was really hard to deal with because I was like, I'm going through this emotional thing and now people are being cut out of my life. It's like all this loss is happening at the same time. It was really hard. Like it
Yeah.
was really hard. And I'm always a good friend to myself because that was just a real tumultuous time for myself. And seeing like out of all the friendships that I could have saved, that was the one that I wanted to save. And it felt like I couldn't do it because this person, it took two people. And in order for it to remain in the friendship or be healthy or reconnect, she needed to realize that you have the whole space for me. It can't just be one-sided all the time. This is important for me. This is not like, haha, kiki, girl, give me job advice. You get what I'm saying? Like, this
Yeah.
is real life, and real life is happening. And it's not like I need you to show up in some kind of way where you're doing things for me.
Yeah.
I just need your presence.
Yes.
You know, I'm big on presence and friendship. I think it's
Yeah.
very important because you cannot say you're somebody's friend if your presence is obsolete.
Exactly.
So I hope that you guys learned something new. I hope that you walked away having an open mind towards friendship. And most importantly, that understanding that boundaries are parameters that you set for yourself to keep you safe and that is being conveyed to the other person. I hope that you walked away from this episode realizing that you can mend friendships and it doesn't have to be so black and white and that you can accept them as they are in their whole totality without trying to change them. That you walked away from this podcast feeling inspired that you can go out there and create community for yourself. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but it must be a community that accepts you just as you are. So, as we end this topic, what is the question that you propose to the audience?
Has there ever been a time during a friendship you felt like the person was disrespecting you, but it was really just a misunderstanding? Like, for example, I forget. No, not that one.
Don't do an example. Love that question.
Yes.
You guys meditate and reflect until next time.
That's it for this week's episode of Just a Thought. Thank you for thinking out loud with me. If something hit home, made you laugh, or made you feel just a little less alone, share it with a fellow misfit. And remember, your thoughts aren't always real, but they are worth exploring. Until next time, keep obsessing responsibly.